Hi there, students. Vestige, a noun. Vestigial, an adjective. Okay, a vestige is a trace, something left over of something that existed in the past, something happened in the past. Originally, this word meant a footprint. And clearly this is a trace that somebody has been there before. So a vestige, a visible sign of something that no longer exists. Those stones over there are the vestiges of the castle that once stood here. So clearly the castle was destroyed, or the stone was taken for other things. The crumbs lying on the table were the vestiges of the meal that we had had. Okay, so the vestiges, the evidence, the signs of something that has finished, something that's been lost, it's gone, it's been destroyed. Okay, it's the little telltale pieces that are left. Indian society still carries many vestiges of the British colonial era. Okay, so little signs to show that this once existed. There is no vestige of truth in what he says. Not even the smallest piece, not even the tiniest piece of evidence. Yeah? So, vestiges. The bits left to show that something once was there, but it is no longer. All vestiges of hope of winning the match disappeared when the opposition scored a second goal. Okay, so all traces, all the final bits, all the remains. In medicine, a vestigial organ is an organ or a body part that doesn't work today, but was used and worked in an evolutionary ancestor. So it's still there, but we no longer use it. Okay? So, vestige, the last traces, the remaining signs, the marks left behind by something. Only the vestiges of the building remained after the explosion. There are vestiges of many different languages in the English that we speak today. They're bits of Latin, bits of Greek, they're bits of all sorts of languages. They're bits of Arabic, Proto-Germanic, of all sorts of things, Proto-Indo-European. Yeah? So, vestiges. He left no vestige of his stay in the room. So he left no traces of the fact that he stayed in the room. You couldn't tell that he had stayed there. It's something I always remember about my grandmother. She would read the Times newspaper, which is one of these big broadsheet newspapers. I don't think they exist anymore. And she'd read it from cover to cover, and then she'd finish and she'd fold it up, and you could see no vestige that she had actually read it. There were no creases. It was in perfect condition, and you could have sold it again on the newsstand. Okay? So a vestige, a sign that something has happened, a sign that something has been there. Okay, now next question. What about formality? I'd probably give this word vestige a 6.5, maybe a 7 in formality. It sounds a bit literary and quite formal. Do not use this in an informal conversation. The remains, the traces would be much, much more appropriate. So with vestige and vestiges, stick to semi-formal and formal. Now, what about origin? Well, it comes from the Latin word vestigium, a footprint. And if you remember, that's where I started. In the past, this word used to mean a footprint. So, a vestige, very often vestiges, evidence of something from the past, evidence of something that no longer exists. So, enough. If you enjoyed the video, give it a rating, subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you soon. Bye for now. Vestige, vestiges.